Hello and welcome to a game by the DDS programming team, in case you couldn't tell. I mean, that's the biggest logo I've ever seen, I think. And this is a conversion of a Robocods from the Commodore Amiga. And initially things look like they might be alright. It's got a little introduction from the Amiga version. It's got a decent enough version of the music. Right, let's get started. So, unfortunately, this is quite a hefty multi-load, as you can probably imagine. And you could probably think that it'd be quite chopped down from the Amiga version, but actually most of the game is here. And I did actually own this. I had this on cassette back in the day, and obviously it's a fairly linear game on cassette. In the Amiga version, you could pick what order you wanted to do the various levels, but obviously you can't do that when it's on cassette without a lot of forwarding and rewinding. So, right, so here we go. Now, Robocod himself doesn't look too great. He looks a bit brown, but otherwise, I think the background graphics I think have been converted to some sort of program to convert them. I think because they look a bit odd, but they certainly look representative of the Amiga. Now, Robocod he doesn't actually have his little armour that he goes into when he crouches. He just sort of crouches. But you can still stretch all the way up, albeit slowly. Right. So as you can see, it's a platform game. Now this is just the main level. This is not really on the Amiga version. This is where you would pick which level you want to go to. But here it's well, you've not got much choice. You've got to go into level 1. So I'm not really sure why this level would even be here. Seems a bit pointless, but anyway. Unless the disc version supports choosing different levels. I'm not sure. I'm not sure on that one. I know the cassette version didn't. Now initially, it actually looks. I mean, the scrolling's a bit jerky, but it's okay. I mean, it's quite. Considering the amount of colour getting thrown around, it's I think it's a decent enough routine. The problem comes when you get near an enemy and you find out that the collision detection isn't very good. And it's a real shame because I think the game is otherwise, you know, it's graphically as good as it could have been, I think, and still look like roughly the Amiga version. And sound-wise, it's quite a good tune, but whoops! See, I jumped in that. It's quite a good tune, but it's the only tune in the game. It gets a bit repetitive. There's a slight sort of sluggish feel to the controls. Oops, don't want that. Okay, that's enough of that. Oh! I mean, I jumped right in the middle of that snake, but decided to take some energy off me anyway. You've got to jump right on the head. It's like, it's just frustrating. But you can put up with it if you, as long as you know, you sort of learn where the hot spots are, or the hit points on each enemy. Whoops. I lost life. And you can sort of learn how to deal with them. That's thrown me right at the back of the start of the level. I mean, this level is quite a small level, and some of the later levels are massive. They're quite impressive, but they're also quite empty, and there's not much to do in the levels. So yeah, it's all very well been. You know, it's a case of quantity rather than quality, to be honest. It's frustrating collision detection. Just it's driving me up the wall. But most of the levels are actually here, and they look fairly similar to the Amiga version. And there's little planes to fly and things like that. So it's not as if it's a half-baked conversion, it's just slightly flawed. Right, so that was the first level. I'll try and jump on this guy. I mean, it's worth just avoiding them completely. So it's quite a hard game, just purely because of the collision detection, but even if you play it with infinite lives, it takes a long time to get to the end of the game, and the final boss is unfortunately rather difficult. Even with infinite lives, he's I mean, it must be impossible without it, but even with it, he's very hard to beat. So the game is virtually uncompletable, really, unless you're a absolute ninja games player, which I'm certainly not. So, I mean, about half the game is played just exploring, and it's not very challenging. And the other half is played trying to destroy enemies that are very dodgy collision detection. But for its time, I mean, obviously it came quite late in 64's life, and nobody was actually expecting it to be anything like the Amiga version. So I'll give the programmer some credit for you know, delivering something that at least looked like the Amiga version, but it just doesn't quite have the same. I mean, it's got the same flaws as the Amiga version, which is the sort of vast levels of with nothing happening. But the Amiga version had better controls and better collision detection. So it's a better game from that point of view. But yeah, this is alright. I'll give it 6 out of 10. I think just there's just too many flaws with it, but it's certainly just above average. I would say. I mean, there's a lot better platform games on the 64 than this, but there's not many games that really have this sort of level of size. I mean, it's certainly a massive game, but as I say, that's no excuse to sort of screw up on the quality. Right, well, that's all for this video. So yeah, 6 out of 10 for Robocod, and see you in the next video.